Welcome back to Legal Matters with the American law firm and WIFR. I'm Mike Garrigan with 23 News, and our guest is attorney John Hansen with the American law firm. And as I mentioned earlier tonight, Legal Matters is a half-hour informational and news call-in show devoted to a variety of legal topics of interest to State Line viewers. We have attorneys standing by right now to take your call at the number on your screen, who will provide you with free information regarding your issue. So call now and throughout the next hour. Our opening statement tonight concerns two issues. First, we're going to talk about paternity matters regarding unmarried couples who have children or who are expecting children. And secondly, we're going to devote some time tonight to auto accidents, truck and motorcycle accidents, and other injury claims. But before we get started tonight, I'd like to remind our viewers of the multiple practice areas that the American law firm concentrates in. The American law firm is a general practice law firm that concentrates in divorce and family law cases, bankruptcy matters, personal injury claims, criminal traffic and DUI issues, wills, trusts and probate matters, and real estate and business transactions. So please feel free to call tonight and discuss any of these practice areas with the attorneys standing by. Now on to tonight's topic, and first, John, let's learn a little bit more about the American law firm.
Well, sure. The American law firm is based in Rockford, and we're located near the intersection of Mulford and State on Executive Parkway. And as you mentioned, we are a general practice firm, which means we represent clients in many different areas of law. And one thing I want to mention is there's a reason why we're called the American law firm. We believe in the core American values of hard work and respect for individuals, no matter their background, no matter their problems. And we believe this plays out for clients in certain things that we offer. For example, we offer free consultations for any client or prospective client in any area of law that we practice. For clients, we offer simple flat fees for our legal services, which means they can budget up front about how much they're going to spend for our attorney's fees. And another way we do it is we offer payment plans sometimes for clients that are in a financial bind.
And we mentioned one of your areas of concentration is divorce and paternity law. Right. Now, how are paternity cases different than divorce cases?
Well, paternity law focuses, like you said in your introduction, on children born from non-married couples, so girlfriend, boyfriend, children. And the area of law is called paternity law because you're establishing rights for the children in court. Unlike divorce law, paternity cases just deal with custody, support, visitation issues for the children. In court, you don't deal with financial issues like dividing property or debts in a paternity case. You would do so in a divorce case. One thing I do want to mention also is that if there's viewers out there that have children from a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship, they need to come see us as soon as possible to get their rights established for those children. It's a very time-sensitive issue when you're dealing with paternity law. And I want to reiterate, we have attorneys standing by during the show answering phones at our office, and you'll see the number on the screen. And if the number is busy when viewers call, because we get a lot of calls on this show, keep trying. Keep calling throughout the show, and we're going to be in the office until 7:30, still answering calls as well.
And we're just touching on it, but why is it important to establish paternity in general?
A couple points on that. First off, it's important to establish custody rights through paternity cases so mothers can get certain support. Not only child support, which is financial, but mothers can also establish medical insurance, health insurance for their kids, and also citizenship for people that don't have citizenship, basically. So it's a very important aspect for mothers. Secondly, and even more importantly for fathers, it's a particular thing about paternity law, but if you're a father and you've had a child outside of a marriage with a girlfriend, in Illinois, you're not recognized as a father until you go into court and get an order from a judge that you're the father. Until then, you really don't have any legal rights to see the child.
So how is it determined who the father is in a paternity case?
Generally, there's two ways to determine that. One is through paperwork and one is through lab work. So the paperwork is called generally a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity, a VAP form, as attorneys call it. Oftentimes when a father is having a baby, he'll go to the hospital when the baby's born and he'll be in the labor and delivery area. And after the procedure is done, he'll be handed some paperwork like a birth certificate to sign and this VAP form. And if that's done correctly, that can often be used to establish paternity. If that all fails, eventually a father can go into court and have a DNA test done, which for sure establishes paternity either way.
Now, we've talked a bit about fathers in terms of paternity law. What benefits can a mother get from a paternity case?
Like I mentioned before, child support is the obvious initial benefit that can be set up through a paternity case. Until there is a case like that, there cannot be an order for child support. Health insurance, again, is a big benefit to mothers once they get into court and have paternity established. Beyond that, if their child is having educational expenses from private school or even sports and recreation costs, a paternity case can establish the father paying some of that as well. And then there's visitation rights the father can enjoy from a paternity case as well.
Now, in about 30 seconds here, can you give us an idea of how paternity cases usually play out in court?
Yeah, it's tough to do in 30 seconds,
Yeah.
but there's several milestones you'll see in a contested paternity case, meaning there's some fights involved. The first thing that will happen is a judge will order mediation, where both parents go without their attorneys and discuss their issues in front of a mediator. If that doesn't work, then the judge will often appoint an attorney for the child, called a guardian ad litem, which is an objective kind of reporter for the judge to report on what they think is best for the child. And then if that fails, there'll often be a hearing or a trial where the judge will decide what's right.
Okay, and right now, as John has mentioned, this segment is being shown, and we have attorneys standing by to answer legal questions from callers. The number is 815-394-1776. Viewers should call the number right now to speak with one of the American law firm attorneys to discuss their options. When we return to Legal Matters, John Hansen will share his knowledge on personal injury law. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's Mike Garrigan from 23 WIFR and attorney John Hansen from the American law firm, continuing to talk legal matters that affect many stateliners. And John, we mentioned one of the areas of law that you focus on is personal injury. What are some of the key things people should know in regards to personal injury law? Well,
personal injury lawyers basically seek compensation for injured parties. And the subject matter of personal injury is very vast. I mean, we're dealing with car accidents, semi-tractor trailer accidents in some cases, motorcycle accidents, but also what they call slip and fall injuries on premises, and even as far as class action lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies, for example, medical malpractice cases, wrongful death cases. So there's a large variety of scenarios that we get involved in with personal injury. The key feature of personal injury for us is that we work these cases on what we call a contingency fee, meaning we don't charge attorney's fees up front for the client as we work the case. We just get paid only if we collect something at the end of the case. I want to remind that we have attorneys standing by right now while the show is playing at our office answering phone calls from viewers. And if the phone rings and it's busy, just keep calling because we have a lot of calls coming in. And we're going to be in the office until 7:30 tonight answering phone calls in this area or any other area of law that we practice.
Now, a lot of viewers are probably wondering what personal injury lawyers actually do and how a typical personal injury case is played out. Can you speak on that?
Sure. Like I said, we represent the injured. So first we get a read on their injuries and the physical effects of their problems, basically. And initially we will approach an insurance company, whether it's an insurance company for a driver or for a hospital if there's a medical malpractice case, or a trucking company if there's a semi-tractor trailer case. And basically we approach the insurance company and advise them of our client's damages, and we set up a claim. Now, in some cases, we will actually finish the case with the insurance company in a settlement. But for certain cases that have maybe contested issues, we will actually go to court and litigate the case in a trial. There'll be many claims made, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, and what kind of claims does a personal injury attorney make on behalf of an injured client?
Right, I want to focus that in a separate answer because there's a lot of different variables with that. The main claims we'll focus on for most people involved in a personal injury case, no matter what the scenario is past and future medical bills, obviously, past and future lost wages if they're working and they miss time from work, and then past and future what we call pain and suffering. Now, this is an ambiguous dollar figure associated with the person having an injury and having the pain, and also just having the involvement in their life. They can't no longer have time with their kids like they used to. They can't do chores around the house like they used to. And we quantify all those effects in their life by asking for a pain and suffering award. Also, spouses of an injured person can have a claim for their own interference with their relationship with their spouse. And if there's a death from this accident and the actual injured person dies, the family can seek a claim for their loss of compensation that deceased person would have provided for the family.
Now, speak on that a little bit more, because there's personal injury and there's wrongful death.
Right.
How are the two different?
Well, in wrongful death, you actually have two claims in most cases. One for the injured person that passed away. If they suffered before they passed away, they have their own case. And then a larger case for the family, because they now don't have that relationship anymore, and nor do they have that financial contribution anymore.
Okay, so talk our viewers through this. If someone gets in a car accident, what rules should they adhere to or follow.
Right. I just wanted to lay out some basics for people in a car accident. First, you always want to call the police, even if the damage isn't that bad, because you want an objective officer there to make a report based on what he finds. Secondly, gather up the info from all parties, meaning not just the person who hit you and their name and insurance company, but any eyewitnesses that are there standing around as good Samaritans. It's very important. If you have a smartphone or a camera, take some photos of the cars and the general scene that you are involved in as well. Also, initially, go to the doctor, even if you're not sure if you're injured. It's better to go and get checked out okay than not go and find your injuries weren't treated later on. One particular thing I want to mention is, at the scene, it's important not to talk too specifically about what happened to the opposing party. Leave the recollection of the accident for later. Just get their information and move on. And like I said, we have attorneys standing by right now. If someone's been involved in an accident, we can kind of walk them through the ins and outs of what they should do as we speak right now.
I think a concern for a lot of people, they're in an accident, they get injured, and the driver of the other car is not insured.
Right.
Can you still get compensation?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have a lot of these questions at our firm. There's a lot of drivers out there that don't have insurance or valid driver's license. If that happens, then there are some claims we can make for the client's insurance themselves. It's called underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage in this case. Uninsured motorist coverage is there for injuries and damages that occur from someone who's not insured. Now, the person themselves who's not insured can also be liable as well. So we'll explore that with any client that comes in our law firm with a free consultation.
Okay, and we just want to remind everyone again that the American Law Firm has attorneys standing by right now to answer legal questions that you might have on any topic. Call now, the number you see on the screen, 815-394-1776. Thank you, John, and we will be right back.
Thank you.